steel and talking shit. Look at that view in the background though. You can see the whole of town from here. Yeah, so today it's called hammer time because we're going to be finishing. Where have I put it? Ah, here it is. Going to be finishing this bad boy off. So, as you can see, you've got a basic cross peen shape sort of worked out there. Just needs a little bit more hammering, really. It's not far from being a sharp point. And then I'm just going to get it flattened and then grind across the top to a flat point there so it's a proper peen. Funny word too, peen. But basically, you can see why I sort of need that drift. Because that hole, that eye there, that's starting to deform a little bit. So I'm going to take some measurements in case I cock it up completely and actually have to make the punch, because my tongs, I'm not sure they're going to be able to grip the eye of this, sorry, not this. I'm not sure that my tongs are going to be able to grip that so well. That's what I'm turning into a drift. And I'm going to make a punch out of the same sort of diameter of hexagonal steel. This was an old pinch bar. So it's good tool steel. It's definitely hard to hammer. I've annealed this 2 or 3 times. So I'm hoping that it's going to be a lot softer to work with. But the whole point of today is to try and make that into a proper hammer. And really, it shouldn't be too hard. It's only a little bit of heavy hammering left to get that to a point where I'll like it. Problem being though, that eye's already started to deform a little bit, so we're going to try and keep it as straight as we possibly can. This is what we're going to be working with in terms of making the drift for it. So we'll see how we go, but first, going to take some measurements. So, yeah. Yes. Yeah, so basically, not a whole lot needs to be done today. We'll drop the door a little bit. Otherwise, I'm going to be overexposed and underachieving in the background. So, I got a pair of calipers. I'm just about to go grab them and do some measurements. Exciting stuff. Wherever I put it, up top, no? Problem with having a big toolbox is I forget where I put all my tools in the toolbox. Right here. So, got manual calipers because I put the man in manual. Not quite. I measure this eye now. Okay, so. Problem being though, I'm going to try and get the profile of this right, and I don't know how well I'm going to do that. We've got to try and get the non-deformed side. We've got there. We've got, that's an inch, 22 mil by 22 by 15. Please remember that for me because I'm bound to forget it. 22 by 15. I do have this crazy idea and I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll see. So 22 by 15 elliptical. I don't know if that's going to work though. We'll see. I haven't got really a fine point pen here, so I can't really. Yeah, that's not going to work, is it? What if I do this? Might actually work. Okay. This might actually work. Yeah, sort of. I've got the rough shape. I don't know if that actually worked, but yeah, so that's for future reference in case I completely cock this up, but we're going to fire up the forward gen and give it a go. See what happens. So I will start by trying to make the drift. Not guaranteeing anything because it could all go horribly wrong. Turn that bad boy on. Down, back up. So we're going to need it quite hot, so we're going to turn up the pressure a little bit. Right. So I'll do it just like last time. Hey Sarah, what's going on? Just chuck your comments in the chat. I won't check them constantly, but I will come back and check them every now and then. Because I can't constantly work on that. It has to cool down. And I haven't got blacksmith's forearms yet, so my forearms get tired pretty quick. We'll try that. We'll try. That's the important part. So this is what I'm worried about, is how well is that going to hold that, and clearly not so well unless I hold it side on. Holding it side on causes a whole host of other issues, because when you got it front to back like that, which is the best way to do it, when you've got to turn it over, you just rotate your wrist. But if you got side on like that, and I'm hammering like that, I've got to turn it all the way over to get the other side. May cause issues, we'll see how we go. But let's get this heated up and let's start heating it. And while we're doing that, chuck this in here for another anneal. Why not? The softer the workpiece is, the better. It's better for everybody. It's better for my neighbours. It's better for me. It's better for... It's just better all around. Hey, what's everyone's Christmas plans anyway? Let me know your Christmas plans. I'm working and finish my night shift on Christmas Day, and then directly proceed to Brisbane for like a family Christmas thing. Although all my family's in North Queensland, so I mean it's a Christmas gathering. So how am I going to get that small thing back out? Hey, what do you mean? What do you mean? What a small thing. Nothing small here. It's all average size. Being thick pieces of steel, it's going to take a little bit to heat up. So, yeah, that's my Christmas plan. It's going out to Brisbane, which is a 3-hour-ish drive from where I am. Given it's Christmas Day, it should be a little bit quicker, because I can't imagine there's going to be too many people on the roads. But that metal bit, you talk about the hexagonal stock. I'll grab back out with tongs. That's why I've got a glove on. Old welding gloves. Although, since last time, I still haven't done anything about the big ass hole. And I can't exactly sew it up with cotton thread, because the cotton thread will just burn. These do get quite hot, being right next to the fire. You can see the scorch marks all over it. But that's the nature of welding and metalworking. I like calling it smacking steel, because calling it blacksmithing just feels off. So, don't need calipers anymore. Here kids, a lesson I learned, hard-won lesson, like most of my lessons. When you're finished with the tool, put it back in its proper place. Don't leave it lying around, because your shed will very, very quickly become messy if you do. The other drawer where it closed. No. The right drawer missing. Hopefully, I do weld, yes. That's, your brother welds, yeah. So, because welding basically, for those who are uninitiated, and I'm terrible at welding, but I know a little bit about it, if you weld without covering all of your skin up, especially if you're white like me, you will get sunburns. Because the light that it produces by melting metal basically gives you sunburn. So it's that's why, like, your mum might have told you when you walk past a welder as a kid, don't stare at the welding flash. That's Yeah, I haven't yet had flash burns in my eyes, but I've had flash burns on my skin, and it's not nice. It hurts. It's just like a really bad sunburn. Goes away a lot quicker though. Alright. See, it's been in there that long, and it's only heated up to like a sort of bright red. These things take time. Just a little bit redder than that, the hammerhead. Feel it. Want it almost like not quite orange, but it's just on the cusp of becoming orange. That's what we want. You got sunburn, yeah. So welding flash is not nice. It's quite terrible. Wouldn't recommend it. Try avoiding it. It's not good. Getting a nice flattened bit out of it. So unfortunately for the punches and the drifts, because it's hexagonal, basically we're going to have to do that and then do a little bit of grinding. And because it's past 6 o'clock, I don't particularly want to do too much, but I mean, if we get it to a point where we can do it and not have to do a whole lot of it, which that's probably a good shape right there, but you can see it does kick out a little bit, so that needs to be flattened down on that end, so then I have to heat it up, grab it again. But the good thing about thick steel is like this, it's maintaining heat for a very long time. So that's good. I've annealed it enough and I'm hammering it enough, so I just want to get that a little bit further up so I can use most of the length, otherwise it's going to slide around, be a whole slippery mess. We don't want that. Chatting and forgot about my hammerhead, but this is why I got into it, is because that colour, I love that colour. Does that just not want to make you smack it with a hammer? Isn't it great? This is great. Hey, I love this stuff. Awesome. So that literally lives on top there, because the surface on top of the forge where I put that hammerhead, you can see it glowing there, stays very hot while I'm doing all this, so I don't put anything I'm planning on handling with bare hands on top of there, because by this point it's already about 100 degrees, give or take. Water evaporates straight off of it if I've been doing it for a while. So where did I get my anvil? That's just an internet order, that one. Cheapy anvil. It started to get chips and cracks in it. Oh, not cracks, sorry. It started to get chips off the edge, but the face of the anvil is actually pretty done. Yeah. Like, don't look at any of my equipment and think it's expensive. It's not. This is very much budget blacksmithing. So, tap down. It's being a bit goofy. All right, and then back to smacking it hard again. Raw. I am Australian fish tits. What a good name. Love that. I don't know what that noise was. Something just fell. What a name, fish tits. Okay, so the measurement for our drift was 22 by 15 mil, elliptical. Easy way to figure out if it's going to work as a drift is to just put it in the eye of the hammer. But I am from Australia, yes, as you can tell by my accent. Not a Kiwi accent, because Kiwis talk like this spoon, and it's not British, because I can't do a British accent, there's too many, but yeah. Good anvils are hard to find. The old ones they're almost 100 kilos per. Almost $100 per kilogram. The old ones, depending on what condition they're in. They're like garden. I can't believe it. Some people buy old anvils and use them as garden ornaments. It doesn't make sense to me. I hate it. I hate it. So while it's hot, I think we'll give it another hit with the hammer. Just up top here. So we've got that part done. We want to just give it a bit more of a hammer up here. So I don't know if you remember me mentioning that Swedish or Norwegian fella last week. Videos are really handy. I watched the video on how to make a drift. Very good. He does beautiful work. Highly recommend it. I'll find this channel after I do the stream and I'll put it in the description if you're keen on checking it out. If you're looking to get started, this stuff, the best thing I can say, just look at YouTube videos. There's that many resources out there on how to do this stuff. It's great. Turn that down a little bit. Right, so we're going to let that cool down. Oh, I'm going to straighten it first because it's gone a bit cattywampus. Nice and straight. Yeah. Yeah, excellent. Alright, so let that cool down-ish. While it's cooling down, we'll turn that off. But yeah, so basically the hammering for the drift has been done, I think, to a point. Now we've got to do hardening, which is the fun part because I'm still learning all the science behind that. About them using, no, they use old anvils in the garden. It's a thing. But I'm going to chuck on the second glove in case I drop it because it will still burn me, but at least I'll have some protection. Yeah, so I don't know, I think the hammering for the drift has been done. We are going to put on a glove and then we're just going to measure the tip. So we're looking for 22 lengthwise, 15 widthwise, and there is a fly hanging around being all gross and stuff. That ain't right. I must have measured that wrong. 22 lengthwise, that's only 7 mil difference. I feel like that's not right. Hold on. Let me double check that. All right. It doesn't look square, so I don't know why I've measured it as a square. So you'll get to see the effect that hot steel has on metal here, because it's probably going to change the color of my stainless. So I've got, yeah, that's 15. And then bring that out without burning myself. This is very, very, very iffy. So 22, yeah, I was correct. That's a bit goofy. I see grass under the trailer. Yeah, I couldn't be bothered moving the trailer, so I just mowed that bloody fly. That's the only, okay, so I moved down from North Queensland where mosquitoes are everywhere to southwest Queensland where flies are everywhere. At least flies don't bite for the most part, but by goodness, they are annoying. So that's allegedly correct. And I'll see if I can show you this, but it's probably not going to show up on the camera because it's only very slight. But you see how the slight one of that tip right there, that one right there, it's got like slight gold coloring to it. So that's what steel does when you heat it up. It goes through these awesome temperature ranges before it starts to glow, where it starts out at this like really slight yellow, then it goes to like a red color, and then it goes to a blue color, and then it goes to a dark gray color. It looks awesome. Love everything about hot steel. It's very exciting. All right, so we're looking for 22 by 15. Now, if someone can write that in the chat so I don't forget. Oh, see? That's why we wear gloves. I almost dropped that on my thumb, and that's very hot. We don't want to do that. That would have hurt a lot. So I've got a feeling we might have gone just a little bit too flat with the edge of that. Nah. So we need to drop it down. No, hold on. I've confused myself again. So what I was talking about last week, I'm terrible at taking measurements. It's not my thing. 14. That's not right. Okay, try again. Oh, it's nearly 16 now. What's happened there? 15 and a half, 16-ish. We want to be around there. Okay. Get a real good grip on that. Yeah, so we've gone a little bit too flat with that, so we need to hammer that back out into an elliptical shape. But lengthwise, we should be a little bit over then by that. Yeah, so we're 2 mil under and 2 mil over. So 2 mil too long and 2 mil too narrow. So we should put that back on the anvil, heat it back up, smack it back down that edge there, and we just want to try and keep it very even through there. And the best part about it being octagonal is I've got these wonderful lines that I can use as a guide as to what the shape's doing really. If it's twisting, I'll know straight away. So give that a go. I'm going to put that to the side so I know where it is. And that's not hot enough to reignite itself. I could go and do a whole thing talking about auto ignition temperatures. We're not going to do that. You're here to watch me smack steel. I'm getting bored with the science lecture. Not that I know too much about the science, but so I said I'll do these weekly, and they're really easy to do weekly, so I definitely will. Is there any slag coming off the steel? No. So when you heat steel up, you get this thing called scale. Can't really show you, but that, yeah, it's like this grey dust. It's like a dull grey dust, and it's called scale. So basically, it's rust, but it happens really quickly because rust is oxygen mixing with the iron over time, and basically you get the red dust, which is rust. Scale is rust sped up really quickly. So it's just iron oxide. That's all it is. It's not slag. Slag essentially is the bits that, I don't know how to say it because I'm not scientifically minded that much, but it's the bits that won't melt into the molten metal that you scrape off the top because most slag floats up. So in most molten metals. But yeah. Also, be careful playing around with molten metals. There is a short on my channel of what happens if you put a ingot mold full of molten metal into water. It blew up. Long story short, it blew up. So be very careful with that stuff. Anyway, so this is the most precise smithing I've ever done. I've never done smithing by measurements. So this is, you are witnessing me trying new shit, which is the whole idea of the stream. But anyway, as I was saying, like, I want to do this a weekly thing. Next week, I did receive, can't remember where I put it, but there it is. received this bad boy in the mail so I can work a bit more with multi-metals, but we've got to make a pair of tongs for that so I can actually pick it up. Because that's small enough to fit in the forge, which was the whole point of getting a small one, and I don't do a whole lot of work with multi-metal anyway, so. Shanae, oh, you mustn't have seen the channel update. She's my ex. That happened like nearly 4 years ago now. Where have you been, Sarah? That happened ages ago. That's a little awkward. But yeah. So just heating up the steel, and we've got to smack it back down. Only 2 mil though. And because it's annealed, it's a lot softer than it's used to being, so I may completely cock this up. I'm going to try not to. We'll see what happens. So I won't heat it up gold hot, because if you heat it up gold hot, it becomes real easy to move the metal. So just real. I was going to say light taps. They don't look light, I know, but these are actually light taps. Tap on that side. That should do it. That should literally be it. Like I said, keep it straight as you go along, because if you don't, it's going to be a lot harder to see. Very hot. Don't let it fall on your feet. That's why I moved my feet straight away. And it's burnt my mat. And now the shed smells like dirty plastic. Anyway, so for the uninitiated, the idea behind a drift is, so you've got a punch. Your punch goes through your material, makes your hole, or your eye of your hammer in this case, which is like a little socket that you put your handle into when you finished making it. A drift is basically, it makes the hole even. So a drift is also something that can follow, like if you're punching a pin out of a hole, a drift follows the pin. Basically, a drift isn't designed to make a hole, it's designed to move through a hole. And in this case, the drift is going through to make it even, essentially. So when the handle goes on, you don't have like flaring out at the top and being really tight in the middle, because I'm terrible at woodwork and it makes a whole headache when you're trying to actually fit a handle to it. I didn't take a photo, I should have, so I could have shared it, but there's like an axe that I made and I didn't drift the hole because it was a square hole, and square holes are kind of rare with tools that I'll be working with, so I didn't make a drift for it because I didn't see the point. And also, I wanted the first time to make a drift to be on camera so I can record just how cattywampus it goes. That should be heated up enough. Stay hydrated. I feel like I'm spending too much time talking and not enough time hammering, so I'm going to get back to it. Alright, so before we go any further, that needs a straight. Perfect. And now this is the fun part, because I've got to have an angle on it, so I have to hold it at a slight angle while I hammer it. And it wants to jump around everywhere, and that's not ideal. Anyway. Okay. Good. Roll you over the other side. I was going to use it, but I just want to take some of those hammer marks out. Less hammer marks I have to deal with at the end, the better, because it's less grinding. Again, that's another lesson I was told, but I learned the hard way. It's like, it's just a grinder, they cut through anything, but they don't. time, but most of the time, if an old fella is trying to tell you how to do something to make it easier for yourself, listen. I spent too much time ignoring good advice as a kid. And as a teenager. And as a young adult. And now I'm making up for it by going, oh, that's right. I was told that once upon a time. Hard-won lessons. Actually, before I do that, what I will do, we'll take some measurements first to see where we're at with that. Get some measurements. 22 by 15. That was the one we looked for, wasn't it? Living under a rock. I didn't publicise it. Like, it wasn't a terribly bit. I mean, it was a big deal because it was like a many years long relationship. But yeah, I didn't make a big deal about it on social media because I've seen friends do that, and it's like, I don't want to force people to choose sides, sort of thing. Not that there were sides to choose, it was pretty amicable. So we've got that measurement. Now it's too thick, apparently. Of course it is! Why wouldn't it be? It's 2 mil too thick, and if it's 2 mil too narrow, on the long side, I may just poo my pants. Oh no. No, it's perfect on... Keep doing that. It's perfect on the long side. Allegedly. It's allegedly perfect on the long side. I'll just double check that measurement. Yeah, perfect on the long side. And it's weird. It's a weird measurement. It's not consistent, so I just need to make it a bit more consistent. But apparently, yeah, we're pretty darn close on the flat side. So, probably about 2 inches in. Just needs to be flattened out a little bit more, make it more consistent, and then we can grind it, which shouldn't take too long because it's pretty darn close. And I will check the fit by putting it in the actual eye of the hammer that it's going to be working on. But I don't know what standard measurements they used for hammers in the 70s, because this hammer that I'm working on is from the 70s. So hopefully they're all pretty standard, because I don't want to end up with like 30 different punches and drifts. So this, when I was talking about auto ignition temperature, it's not going to do it. Okay. So I thought that was hot enough to reignite itself, but apparently not. You back there. Do it the hard way then. I don't need it too hot. I don't need that second glove at the moment. Only when we're doing measurements. You back in there. Let it heat up. A little bit more hammering and that should be the drift done, hopefully. Because that's one less tool I need to make then. This whole world is like, you've got to make tools to make tools. Older tools seem, sort of. So older tools I find, obviously it's like today, if you get good brands, or brands that, like, they don't necessarily need to be the Gucci brand, but if you get brands that use actual good materials in their steel, they seem to work just fine. I've had plenty of cheap tools that are great. I've had plenty of expensive tools that are great, and I've had plenty of expensive tools that are crap and plenty of cheap tools that are crap. So it really does depend on what the material is. And I mean, they're not expecting consumers to check that. Like, if you use a spanner and you're wrenching on it and it snaps in half, steel's no good. There's a whole bunch of reasons that could happen. Corrosion, it could have been exposed to heat. But long story short, basically, old tools seem to be a lot better because they weren't built with the idea of getting repeat customers. And unfortunately, that's why a lot of old tool businesses went out of business, because they made such good tools, you didn't need to buy another one. Another good one to look for if you're buying tools is if any tool has a lifetime guarantee. If someone's willing to back a lifetime guarantee, like they're anytime you use the tool and you break it for whatever reason, we will replace it, no questions asked, even if you just pay postage. Always good. I've got an Australian knife sharpener rig sort of setup. That's that one's got a lifetime guarantee. Leatherman have a lifetime guarantee. I've had the same Leatherman that I use at work now. I've had that since I was 13 years old, and that's like 15 years. That thing is gangster. It like comes in a camo pattern because I was in cadets at the time and thought it was cool, which it kind of was. It still kind of is, but it was that bush camo that you see on all like the quads and stuff nowadays. Duck hunting camo, I think it's called. I had that before it was cool. I had the original hairstyle, so just bear that in mind when you judge me in the future. The original hairstyle is me. It's me. I may use the ball peen just because it's a bit more precise. So you can see I'm constantly resetting the hammer by doing that. That's why I'm making drifts, because eventually this handle is not going to do that anymore. Oh, I love it when that happens. One hit wonder, and it's straight into it. Love it. Alright, so that's good. Turn that down. Yeah, so what we'll do now, I'm waiting because I've got a drift. So if it all goes horribly wrong, I can always fix it. Is actually flatten out that peen there. So while I'm hitting the metal with the handle of the hammer, I'm not hitting it with the handle. So what I'm doing is that there, you can see from the top, it's quite an old hammer. It's well used, but every now and then I can't do it with my hands because I haven't quite got the grip strength yet, but that'll slide up and start to come off. I'm just hitting it really hard on the base, and that head slides back down and sits on the handle, which again, that's why I'm making all these punches and drifts, is so when this eventually does break the handle, and same with this one also needs it. You can see the glue at the top's all stuffed. This one has to constantly get hit on the bottom to reset it. And also, I wouldn't mind having a longer handle on these bigger hammers because it gives you a bit more leverage. Doing that for like 15 minutes in a row gives you good forearm workout, but it's very tiring. So, and that is also why I'm not wearing a glove on this hand, because if you wear a glove, you have to grip it a lot tighter, and it hurts the arm a lot more. So, yeah, that one's done. Just going to let it cool down before we check the eye of this one, which is just a matter of just popping it over the end, but it's going to need a grind anyway. We're going to see how much we can get away with hitting this one down before the eye starts to deform. We may be lucky because with the axe, because I didn't have a drift for it, I was able to do the whole thing with hammer out an old hammer and turn it into an axe head. I was able to do the whole thing without the eye deforming, but we'll see if we can have the same luck with this. So, hello Bella, what's going on? See if it's going to reignite? No, it's not. If I look scared, that's because I was. Give it there, put that over the eyes, and all my sweat that's fogged up here. Glasses. So I'm popping that there to cool it down. Not that you can really cool down a hot piece of metal on top of the furnace, but it's going to cool down more than it was. Will you make the new handle with metal? No. So you see all those trendy videos on YouTube Shorts, has a lot of them where they make like a axe out of rebar and it's got a metal handle. There's a reason not a lot of tools have a metal handle. It's a little bit to do with electrical conductivity. If you hit something that's electrified, you'll die. It's also because if there's no real other way to explain it other than go out there, get a piece of wood and hit it really hard against a hard surface, and get a piece of metal and hit it really hard against a hard surface. Your hands will tell you why there's not metal handles in it. It hurts. Basically, it doesn't absorb any of the shock whatsoever. So, wood is very good at flexing and moving around when it's under strain. Metal isn't. Metal bends or it breaks. It won't flex. That's not what metal's designed for. Unless obviously it's designed for it, but you can't make a metal handle essentially. You can use them, they're terrible to use. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Just going to hammer out that peen on the back. Love that word, peen. I'm just going to hammer it out into a, like, not a chisel point, a flat point. I keep getting does anyone else keep getting notifications from Snapchat for their stupid Snapchat stories? Extreme science. Nothing scientific about it. It's annoying me. That's what I'm trying to say. I find it annoying. Anyway, that should be nice and hot. Tools to make tools, so we're going to have to make more tools. These tongs are the only ones that I've found that are suitable that you can buy online. I'm sure there's others, I haven't found them. These ones I made myself, as you can see, with the terrible welding, but these will not let go of round stock. You can throw it around, you can try and throw it like a tomahawk, so long as you're clamping down on these, because they got a little bit of spring action to them, because I apparently heat treated them right. They just do not let go of round stock. So it's very good. While that's heating up, I'll also show you the result of some of last week's work. This is the only gift I didn't send off, and you're about to see why. So you remember how I was making that photo frame, triangular one? Tell me if there's anything wrong with this picture and why I should probably measure metal ahead of time. It's because if we were to sit flat on a bench, it's going to sit at that angle. Terrible. So, yeah, I scrapped that, and I basically said, I'll make you another one after the holiday season's over, because I still have many other gifts to go. This hammer is one. Basically, I borrowed someone's hammer, and on the move down, which was a 14-hour drive, I lost it, don't know where it went, so now I've got to make him another one. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. Hold the eye of the hammer. I just don't know how to do it yet. I'm getting there. That's what a hard hammer head looks like. Don't raise it above your head in case the head comes off. But that comes off, like that, it's work hardening. So there's a thing with steel that's called work hardening as well. Basically it gets to a point where you've hammered it so much and compressed all the little crystals in it so much that it starts to become really springy. And when it's really springy and under all that tension, you'll get little chips fly off everywhere. So occasionally I'll get flicked in the head by a hot chip of metal, and it becomes really hard to hammer it out. So you need to put it back in the furnace, let it get up to heat, get to a temperature where those crystals start to calm down a little bit, and then get back to it. So that's where I'm at right now. It's starting to work hard a little bit. It's not hammering as well, but we've probably squashed it down about. Sorry, I got to trim my mustache. It keeps touching me in the nose. All the boys with mustaches will know what I'm talking about. It needs to basically calm down. So to make it cool off, you put it back in the forge. I love working this. This is great. This is great. Anyway, so I'll show you, Sarah, what I was talking about before. That stuff there, that's your iron oxide, or your scale that comes off from hot pieces of metal. It's just really fast rust and it's very powdery. It's not sharp. I don't know if it's good for the grass, but it gets blown into the grass once there's too much of it on the floor. I do know that it is flammable. Iron dust is very flammable, believe it or not. Like metal won't burn under normal circumstances, but if you make that into a powderized form, it will burn. It will actually blow up. Dust explosions. Plenty of instances of dust explosions in foundries, so clean up after yourself. It's important. Don't you move. Oh, I nearly got it. And I'll show you there, where it's gone dark in the middle, that's iron oxide forming, so that's the scale that I was talking about. Nearly there, a little bit more to go. Just a little bit more to go, probably one more heat, I reckon, and then we'll be good. And that'll coincide almost exactly with the end of the stream. Wouldn't that be great? Might be some good timing. Close enough? Tell me. If you reckon that's thin enough to turn into a good cross peen, say so in the chat. But so far, the eye has kept relatively straight, which is really good. Because I'd really rather not annoy the neighbours with grinding as well. Also, if you're setting up your own vehicle, my anvil stands made out of old hardwood sleepers. I got them for free, which is extremely rare to come across hardwood sleepers for free. Basically just all cut them to length, so that they're this length. Basically, if I put my fist right next to my hip, it's just before my arm straightens out. That way I can get all the force of gravity come down. I can also not swing it past that optimum angle, because then you start to go on an angle and get in there, because your arm's naturally going to stop at about that position. So you get pretty much all the force of your muscles and gravity when you're hammering steel. pair of pliers because it's a bit dangerous and a bit hot. That there, cheap anvils start to do that after a while. So that's just chipped off the edge. That's really, really hot, that piece of steel. So I'm going to chuck that in the quenching bucket and then just forget about it until I empty it out and step on it. That's life. Right, anyway. So that's just about back up to heat. What was the verdict with the cross? Yeah, no verdict with the cross. So therefore, we're going to hammer it just a little bit more. Flatten around just a little bit. I actually kind of want to keep it now. That's the one problem with making Christmas gifts is I'll make something and I'll be so gosh darn impressed with it. I'll be like, I actually want to keep that. I would mind keeping that. That'll make a really good addition to my tools here. But I made a promise and I'll be going to go back on my promise. That is about where I want it. There's a little bit of cleanup needed. I'll just do that with the ball peen. Take some of these hammer marks out of it that you can see. I like the big hammer marks. We'll keep the little ones in there because the big one's quite ugly. I'll chuck that in for one more heat, give it a good clean up, and then we'll quench it, and then I'll take it upstairs when I go upstairs for dinner and put it in the oven for 2 hours at about 200-ish degrees because I don't use my oven for cooking. It just gets used for baking steel. That's life. Come on, I'm actually quite impressed that eye has one adult. So, put these away, I don't need them anymore. Post a video when the hammer's done. Not a video. Yeah, just a video. I'll post a video and let you know how the hammer went. Although I will be scripting another video this week. For curiosity's sake, it's making a comeback. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Although I'm gonna change the format a little bit because I wasn't happy with. I liked the videos last time. I just didn't like the format of it. Gold. Give it a good hammer and straight. Just taking those hammer marks out. Really starting to get bad now. I reckon that handle's not long for this world. It'll probably get recycled into like a handle for a knife or something. This forge is all about recycling stuff that people don't use or don't need anymore. And the stuff people will use or will need. That's dancing around now. Can you stop doing that, please? Straight, relative relatively consistent. Just needs a bit more of a hammer on top there, a bit more of a straighten down. As you can see, it's like curved a little bit. That is the way it's supposed to be. So that's the way the hammer's going to sit. So I just need, a bit more of a hammer down. And it's still got a little bit of heat left in it, so we'll use it. Really likes jumping up. It's going to need more heat. Not too much, just enough, just a little bit more. And then we can temper it. Quench it, sorry. The cross peen is about fine. Bring the sides in line with the cheeks, and you don't. Yeah. Thanks, man. That's actually good advice because I don't know what I'm doing. All the peen before, so also radius. Yeah. So I have grinded it back a little bit. Obviously, it needs to be done more. So that is good advice. Thank you for that. That'll be something I'll do when I grind out the drift. Thank you for pointing that out. But so the cross is basically, you can use a ball peen for the same thing, but the cross peen, when you're flattening out metal into sheet metal, you can basically put lines in it, and it, I don't know the right terminology yet, but basically, if you just smack it with a hammer, you're trying to compress it and push it out, and it takes a really long time, a lot of force, a lot of heat, a lot of gas, a lot of money. If you use a cross peen, basically making little troughs in it. So you're causing little valleys to happen, and then you hammer them out smooth, and then you cause more little valleys, and you hammer them out smooth. So basically, it's a quicker way of making something thick and short, long and thin really quickly. And you can also use it for making like sheet steel, the old-fashioned way. Back before we had all this wonderful power hammers, which I don't have yet. I really want one, but I don't want to buy a brand new one. I want to get an old one, and I don't know much about machine restoration. So that may be an issue. That's not going to do that. There we go, nice and flat. Bringing the cheeks in, this may cause a bit of an issue. See how we go. That's very good advice. I like that advice. I was actually kind of hoping someone who knew what they were talking about would jump on here and actually tell me what to do. So I'm glad you popped up. Learn one day, kids, you'll get to my age and you'll find enjoyment in weird things like hammering hot steel. That's just the way it be. Be it pottery, be it metalwork, be it beekeeping, be it anything. If you can make something with your hands, even if it's not very good, the amount of satisfaction you get out of that. I don't really know how to explain it other than it appeals to something in your DNA. Humans are builders. We're supposed to build things. Even if you just make stuff with origami, just do it. Just do it. Just make stuff and give it to people. It's so good. It's so fun. Spreads away from the peen only yet. It's called drawing out. From a 4-ton log splitter. Actually, Speargrass forge. I'll have a look, man. I'm definitely going to have a look. We're in Darwin. Another guy to watch is Sam Townsend Perth. I have heard about him. That's great. Actually, I don't know how to pin comments. I'm going to check out those channels. So, what you're saying is you made a power hammer out of repurposed equipment, because that's really appealing to me right now. Complete practical blacksmithing, annotated too. Yeah, I've got we have a book that I have learned a little bit out of. Lorelei Sims, I don't know if you've heard of her before, but it's more artistic sort of blacksmithing, and my scroll work's not the best, but I'm trying to work on it. So at the moment, just making Christmas gifts, and I've saved so much money making Christmas gifts. But yeah, it's good. It's good. Thank you for that advice. And I will go through the chat comments afterwards and I'll grab those. Consider yourself subscribed to, because man, I love this stuff. Hey, it's good fun. It really is. And I know I keep saying that, but I really can't say it enough. It is good fun. And I'm sure my neighbours hate it, but rental crisis, they don't really have much choice but to put up with it. Neither do I, actually, for that matter. Yeah. Alright, I think we're nearly done. Backyard Blacksmith. Yeah, that's the exact book I've got. Look up Roy Adams at Christ Center. That's another one I've seen, and he does awesome work. Also, Black Bear Forge. I'm sure I'm telling you stuff you already know, but that was there's a lot of good stuff on there. And scroll work. I think it might have been him, or it might have been another younger fella in America, but he actually no, it was Christ Center, because he talked about dancing the hammer around, and every time I do it, that's what I think about, dancing the hammer around, and I'm kind of starting to get the rhythm for it, but it's pretty good. You know, more personally, that's awesome, man. That is really awesome. Yeah, no, it's that name doesn't put me off at all. Like, he can believe that stuff, that's perfectly fine. And like, yeah. So this is the part about talking shit, I suppose, but like, religion's not all bad, religion's not all good. I think for the most part, it is a force for good. It gives people comfort in hard times, and who wouldn't want that? So when it gets used for bad, it's like anything. Technology's not all bad and technology's not all good, but there are people who would use it for bad and people who would use it for good. It's good. It's yeah, plenty of good advice. I like that. So yeah, if you can see my YouTube recommendations right now, you'd be like, what? Because I have my two nieces and their family stay over the past probably 48 hours, I think it was. And they're just using my YouTube on my TV, so it's all kids' videos now, so I need to get those recommendations back into this stuff. But I just need to straighten that a little bit and start to twist a tiny bit. And then we're done. So I will actually sell the wires now, because that is going to be the end of the stream. Thank you everyone for coming along, and thank you Speargrass Forge for all that excellent advice. If anyone wants to check out a channel that does way better work than I do, go have a look at him, because I'm sure he does way better work than I do. He knows all the terminology, which is a green flag, but yeah, thanks, man. That's really cool. Thanks for subbing. But yeah, I'll be on again in like another, I don't know, probably another week. I know everyone's going to be busy over the holiday period, so if you can't pop by, that's fine. But next time, what did I say we were going to make? Tongs. I think we're making tongs. Having another shot. Going to see if we can make slightly better tongs than the last one. So, yeah, good to see you all. Hopefully, fish can be nice and just needs a little bit. It's great. Oh, I love it when that happens. Here we go. That peen just needs a little bit of filing and a lot of filing and grinding, but that's pretty much it. It's good. It's good. I reckon that's going to make quite a nice hammer, especially considering the person doesn't use hammers a whole lot. I think they'll like it. But I'm going to make that pretty, but not in this video, because that requires grinding and woodworking, and I don't want to show off how terrible I am at woodworking. So you've already seen how bad I am at welding. So let's not do that. But turn it down a little bit, that'll be wise, because I'll wait for that to heat up so I can quench it. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one, probably in about 7-8 days. I'm on an 8-day cycle with work, so 4 on, 4 off. So it'll basically be either in the middle of that or at the end of that. There will be weekly, because this is fun. I like doing this. And again, it gets me in the shed, gets me actually doing stuff, and even better, get people like Speargrass Forge sub to his channel, pop by and actually give good advice while I'm doing this stuff, which is awesome. So yeah, thanks for coming along, thanks for interacting, and I'll see if I can remember how to end the stream. I know I only said an hour, it's almost an hour 10 minutes, but yeah, thanks very much, and see you in the next one. Cross right there. Yep, okay. See you. That was awesome.